Okay, let's dive right in. Most of us, well, we kind of see aging as this thing that just happens to us, right? It feels inevitable. But what if we could play offense? Today, we're going to unpack the big ideas from Dr. Peter Attia's work on longevity, which is really a radical new game plan for how we can get older, but on our own terms.
And this right here is the question at the heart of it all. I mean, think about it. Modern medicine is incredible at keeping us from dying. It's gotten really, really good at extending our lives. But is it actually keeping us healthy? Or are we just tacking on more years of being frail and sick? That question really gets to the heart of a huge distinction we need to make.
And here it is, lifespan versus health span. You see, lifespan, that's just a number. It's how many birthdays you get. But health span, now that's the real prize. It's the quality of those years. It's the difference between just being alive and actually feeling alive. The goal here isn't just adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years. So, if we want to protect that health span, who's the enemy? Well, Dr. Attia points to four main threats, and he calls them the four horsemen of the aging apocalypse. These are the chronic diseases that are, frankly, the main reason most people decline and die in the modern world. First up, we've got cardiovascular disease. Things like heart attacks and strokes. This has been the #1 killer for decades, so it's obviously a huge target in our fight to live better for longer. The second horseman is cancer. It's an incredibly complex disease, but when you boil it down, it's often a disease of aging. It's what happens when our amazing cellular machinery just starts to go haywire over time. Third on the list, neurodegenerative disease. We're talking about conditions like Alzheimer's and dementia, the diseases that rob us of who we are, of our memories, our minds. And that's a huge part of having a high-quality life. And finally, the fourth horseman, which Attia argues might be the most important one, is metabolic dysfunction. Think of things like insulin resistance, which eventually can lead to type 2 diabetes. But here's the absolute kicker. This stuff doesn't happen overnight. The foundation for these problems can be laid down for decades, literally decades, before you ever get a diagnosis. Okay, so we know the enemy, but is our current game plan working? The argument is a pretty hard no. Our current medical system, what Attia calls Medicine 2.0, was basically designed to fight a totally different kind of war. And this quote just nails the problem, doesn't it? Medicine 2.0 is amazing at emergency rescues. It's fantastic at pulling you out of the river when you're already drowning in disease, but it does almost nothing to go upstream and figure out why you fell in the first place. This iceberg analogy is the perfect way to see it. Medicine 2.0 is like the Titanic. It only spots the danger when the tip of the iceberg, the symptoms of a disease, is right in front of the ship. By then, it's too late. The damage is done. But Medicine 3.0, that's like a modern ship using advanced radar to see what's lurking beneath the surface. It uses early screening and aims for optimal health markers, not just not sick, to spot these threats long before they become a full-blown crisis. So if our current system, Medicine 2.0, is the problem, what's the solution? Well, it's a total shift in thinking. It's about going from being reactive to being proactive. It's time to welcome Medicine 3.0. And here's the key idea. Medicine 3.0 is not about waiting until you're sick. It's a deeply personal, forward-thinking strategy. It's all about treating pre-disease. It uses every tool in the toolbox, exercise, nutrition, advanced diagnostics, to change your health trajectory long before you're on a collision course with one of those four horsemen. And wow, this really puts it all into perspective. The Outlive ideal is all about being proactive, training for real-world strength so you can actually live your life, and investing in your health early on. Now compare that to where we are now, a system that just reacts to symptoms, a population that's largely sedentary, and almost all of our money being spent trying to manage diseases in those final, really difficult years of life. The difference is just staggering. Okay, this all sounds great, but it's a little abstract, right? So where do we even begin? This is where the whole strategy gets really personal and super practical, with an amazing framework called the Centenarian Decathlon. This is the question you have to ask yourself. Right now, seriously, forget training for a six-pack or running a marathon. Instead, I want you to picture yourself at 80, 90, maybe even 100 years old. What does a fantastic day look like for you then? What are the physical things that would bring you joy and keep you independent? That becomes your personal Olympics. And here are just a few classic examples. We're not talking about elite athletic feats here. We're talking about function, about dignity, about staying engaged with the world, picking up a grandchild, putting your own luggage away on a plane, just being able to get up if you fall. Maybe for you it's hiking, or gardening, or carrying your own groceries. You get to decide what your 10 events are. So how in the world do you train for something that's decades away? You have to work backward. You reverse engineer it. We know we lose physical capacity as we get older. It's just a fact. So if your goal is to be able to lift a 30-pound grandkid when you're 80, you can't just train to lift 30 pounds today. You have to build a buffer, a reserve, to account for that natural decline, which means you have to be way stronger now. I just love this because it completely reframes what being young even means. It's got nothing to do with the number on your driver's license. It's all about whether you're looking forward or looking back. And that's what the Centenarian Decathlon is all about. It's an act of aspiration. You're training for the amazing life you still want to live, not just remembering the one you've already had. And that's really what it all boils down to.
This whole philosophy isn't just about dodging disease. It's about actively, intentionally building the future you want to live in. It forces you to get specific about what a vibrant, engaged life looks like for you. And then it gives you a roadmap to start building it, starting today. So I'll leave you with this. What's on your list?